Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. A narrow S-shaped land hugging the edge of Southeast Asia, mist rolling over green mountains, rivers cutting through endless rice fields, fishing boats rocking gently along a coastline that seems to stretch forever. Now imagine this same land standing firm against Mongol armies, surviving 1,000 years of foreign rule, resisting colonial powers, enduring war and division, and still rising to become one of Asia's fastest-growing economies. That land is Vietnam. And its story isn't just history, it's a testament to resilience written across thousands of years. Let me take you back to the very beginning. More than 5,000 years ago, long before modern borders or global politics, early communities settled in the Red River Valley. The land was fertile, the rivers generous, and rice farming became the heartbeat of daily life. These early Vietnamese societies formed their own customs, beliefs, and ways of living. They built villages, honored their ancestors, and developed a strong sense of identity deeply connected to the land. But history rarely leaves a people untouched for long. In 207 BCE, a Chinese military leader named Tri Letwanisi Uda marched into the region and established a kingdom called Nam Viet. It blended Chinese governance with local traditions and stretched from southern China into northern Vietnam. For a brief moment, it looked like a balanced coexistence. But in 111 BCE, the Han dynasty absorbed the region completely, beginning nearly 1,000 years of Chinese rule. 1,000 years is a long time for any culture to survive under foreign control, yet the Vietnamese people held on. They preserved their language, their traditions, and their spirit. Resistance became part of their identity. Generation after generation refused to disappear. Then in the year 939, everything changed. A leader named Ngo Quy Letwani C1 N stood on the banks of the B Letwani A1CH D/Letwani B1NG River and led a decisive battle against Chinese forces. His victory didn't just end foreign domination. It reignited a sense of pride and independence that would shape Vietnam forever. From there, a new chapter began. By the 11th century, the Lai dynasty unified the country and established its capital in what we now know as Hanoi. They built a centralized government, improved irrigation for farmers, and strengthened national identity. Vietnam, then known as D/Letwani A1 IV I Letwani C7T, was finally taking shape as an independent state. But independence often invites new challenges. To the south, the Champa Kingdom controlled coastal territories. To the west, the Khmer Empire was expanding. Conflicts became inevitable. Internal pressures weakened the Lai rulers, and by 1225 the Tia Letwani A7N dynasty took power. The Tia Letwani A7N era would soon face one of the greatest threats in human history, the Mongol Empire. In the 13th century, Mongol-led Yuan forces launched 3 massive invasions into Vietnam. Many nations fell before the Mongols, but Vietnam did not. Under the brilliant leadership of General Tia Letwani A7N Hung D/Letwani A10, Vietnamese forces used strategy, terrain, and sheer determination to push them back each time. Those victories became legends, stories still told today as symbols of courage and unity. But even heroes cannot stop internal struggles forever. By 1400, the Tia Letwani A7N dynasty weakened, and China's Ming dynasty invaded once again. Yet this occupation sparked a powerful resistance. In 1418, a landowner named Lea El Letwani III began what seemed like an impossible uprising. Over 10 years, his movement grew stronger. Villagers, farmers, and soldiers united under one goal: independence. By 1428, Ming forces were driven out, and Lea El Letwani III established the later Lea dynasty. Under Lea rule, Vietnam flourished. Education expanded, laws were refined, agriculture improved, and arts thrived. But population growth created pressure for more land. That need pushed Vietnam southward. In 1471, Emperor Lea Than Tong defeated the Champa Kingdom, opening new lands for settlement. Over the following centuries, Vietnamese communities continued expanding into areas once controlled by Cambodia. Gradually, the country's modern borders began to form. Yet expansion brought division. Rivalries between northern and southern rulers weakened unity, and that weakness did not go unnoticed by Europe. In 1857, France launched a military campaign aimed at expanding its influence in Asia. By 1859, French forces captured Saigon. Over time, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos were merged into a colonial entity known as French Indochina. Colonial rule transformed the landscape, but rarely benefited the local population. Railroads, ports, and roads were built mainly to extract resources like rice, rubber, and coal. Wealth flowed outward while many Vietnamese people struggled to survive. Out of these hardships rose new voices demanding independence. One of them was Nguyen Letawani C5 Niqu Letawani D1C, later known to the world as Ho Chi Minh. His leadership would become central to Vietnam's struggle for freedom. Then came World War II, and with it another shift in power. In 1940, Japan occupied Vietnam, weakening French control. When the war ended in 1945, Ho Chi Minh declared independence, but France attempted to return, triggering the First Indochina War. After years of intense fighting, Vietnamese forces achieved victory in 1954. The country was temporarily divided into North and South, setting the stage for further conflict that would shape global history. Now pause for a moment and look at the land itself. Vietnam stretches along the eastern edge of Southeast Asia, a country shaped like a graceful S mountains rise in the north, forests spread through the central regions, and fertile deltas nourish millions in the south. The Red River Delta and Mekong Delta have long been the lifelines of Vietnamese agriculture, especially rice production. With more than 3,000 kilometers of coastline, the sea plays a central role in daily life. Fishing, trade, and cultural exchange have always flowed through these waters. Scattered across the coast are thousands of islands, including the breathtaking Ha Long Bay and the tropical beauty of Phu Quoc. Geography has always shaped Vietnam's resilience. Mountains provided protection, rivers sustained life, the coastline opened doors to opportunity. Today, Vietnam operates as a socialist republic led by the Communist Party. Over the past few decades, the country has undergone remarkable economic change. Once isolated, Vietnam opened its markets to the world and focused on manufacturing, exports, and tourism. Cities like Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi now buzz with energy. Factories produce electronics, textiles, and machinery for global markets. Coffee from Vietnam reaches homes worldwide. A growing middle class signals rising living standards and new possibilities for the next generation. Yet beyond economic growth, Vietnam's true strength lies in its culture. Family remains at the center of Vietnamese life. Ancestor worship connects the present to the past, reminding people where they come from. Homes often include altars dedicated to previous generations, honoring memory and heritage. Vietnam is home to 54 ethnic groups, each contributing unique traditions, languages, and clothing. Cultural expressions range from water puppetry and silk painting to traditional music that echoes through festivals and ceremonies. And then there is the food. Vietnamese cuisine is known for its freshness, balance, and use of herbs. Whether it is a steaming bowl of pho, crisp spring rolls, or regional specialties, food reflects both geography and history. Today, Vietnam stands as a country that has endured more than most nations could bear. Yet through every invasion, occupation, and division, its people preserved their identity. When you walk through Vietnam now, you don't just see cities and landscapes. You see layers of history. You feel the spirit of a nation that refused to fade. Vietnam's journey reminds us that true strength isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about rising after every fall, holding on to who you are, and moving forward with purpose. And that is why Vietnam's story continues to inspire the world.